Today we are going to discuss multiple regression concept. Okay, so here we have to find x3 on x1 and x2. Find x3 on x1 and x2. He has given the data x1 data, x2 data and x3 data. Okay, so how to find out the multiple regression? This you call it as the multiple regression. So the linear regression equation x3 on x1 x2 is nothing but x3 is equal to a plus b times of x1 plus c times of x2. So similarly the normal equations for x3 on x1 x2 is sigma x3 is equal to na plus b sigma x1 plus c sigma x2. Similarly x3 x1 sigma a sigma x1 plus b sigma x1 square plus c sigma x1 x2. Similarly c sigma x3 x2 is equal to a sigma x2 plus b sigma x2 x1 c sigma x2 square. So you have to prepare a table which are having the columns x1 x2 x3 so on and so forth. What are the different columns we require is the x1 x2 x3 and x1 square x2 square x1 x2 x1 x3 x3 x2. All these column headings are from the normal equation x3 x1 x2 x1 x2 x1 square x3 x1 x3 x2 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 x1 x2 square. Now we substitute the values. X1 values are 3 5 6 8 12 4 3 5 6 8 12 4. Similarly x2 values we substitute here, x3 values you have to write it here. Similarly x1 square values I am writing here. Similarly x2 square values I am writing here. x1 into x2 x1 into x2 16 3 is 48. Okay, similarly x1 x3 x1 and x3 3 90 is 270. Similarly x3 and x2 90 into 16. So you have to get the values like this. So if you add the column wise you are going to get the values like this. Okay, now we have to substitute these values in the normal equations. So the normal equations sigma x3 means x3 value 300 is equal to n stands for 6 here 1 2 3 5 4 5 6, therefore 6 times of a plus 48 times of b plus c sigma x2 42 times c. So similarly now we substitute the remaining values in the second normal equation. In the third normal equation we substitute these values. By solving you are going to get a is equal to 61.40, b value is 3 minus 3.65, c value is 2.54. now we substitute these small a small b small c values in the regression equation. Therefore you are going to get x3 is equal to 61.40 minus 3.65 times of x1 plus 2.54 times of x2. This is nothing but the linear regression equation x3 on x1 x2. This concept you call it as a multiple regression. Okay, thank you.